Hey there, Brad Johnson here for Bottom Line Thursday.
And Chris Beyer joining you again, Brad. Thanks for sharing more bottom line topics.
You bet. I'll
So we're
bring
going.
up I'll bring up a name from the past because I,
Yes.
I like to track this one just because the state of North Carolina, we talked about their employee health plan for state workers.
Yes.
So just by way of background, they cover about 750,000 employees and retirees. So big group health plan.
Yes.
And they've tried some, I would say, unconventional things in the past for a group their size. You might recall a couple of years ago, they tried reference-based pricing.
Yes.
It didn't work out great. Not too many hospitals really jumped on board. A couple of years before that, they implemented wellness programs that in
Hmm.
order to qualify, you had to be within a certain body mass index.
Correct.
So kind of controversial things they've tried. Even with all these things they've tried, they're facing next year $500 million
Wow.
budget shortfall in their health plan.
Wow.
And so it's the latest headline, it's leading them to have to consider doubling employee contributions.
Wow.
And so yeah, yeah, I'll pause there just to get your take on that.
I think a lot of what we see with, government entities, you can put a lot of programs in place. We've had some great success with government entities controlling costs, being creative with those things. But I think back to how many of our municipal groups, counties, cities, states are struggling because they can't engage with the retiree population that is making up a big area of spend. I know we've talked to a local school district that's got multi-million dollar claimants that are in the retiree category, and there's no way to fix that because they're not an active employee anymore. So I'm curious, again, maybe not in that study, but is the retiree population the one that's really hurting North Carolina? Because they've tried it all.
Yeah,
I mean, they've made major shifts.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you're right. Actuarially speaking, demographics, as we get older, we have more healthcare
Yeah.
issues come up. It's just part of life. And so if you have a growing retiree population, definitely you can have trend rates greater than traditional trend, which is already scary
Mhm.
at,
Yes.
pick 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the carriers are doing in your specific state. So I do think that must be part of this. The articles I've read didn't dive into it, but I think you're right. That's what I would suspect as well.
Well, and then you have so many teaching institutions and colleges in the state of North Carolina as well. You talked about reference-based pricing not working. I can't imagine that, UNC or Duke or Wake Forest is going to take a reduction in cost. They are the specialty centers, and they're probably one of the most expensive places for treatment. And that's where everybody goes in North Carolina when they need something. They're not going to their local hospital for something specific. You've got three, if not four, major research teaching hospitals that are not cheap. That's
Yeah.
another area that's probably a challenge. You don't have the smaller independent opportunity to control costs you might have in other parts of the country.
Yep. Great point. So I'll keep an eye on this. We'll
Yeah.
see where they end up. But right now, it's the tried and true. Gonna have to raise contributions and
Wow.
premiums to make it
Crazy.
work. So
No,
we'll see.
I know we've talked about it before. It'd be interesting to see more updates as they come. Thanks for sharing again, Brad.
All right. We'll
All
see you
right. Good to
next
see
week.
you. All right. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.